Hi guys, this is Valor from Online Combat Battalion. This is a brief tutorial on how to use Zeus with the Achilles mod in-game. So first we obviously go to the editor and we open that up and select a map that you like. I'm going to use Generis because I like it, and we'll wait for the map to load. Okay, once the map's loaded in, if you want to find a particular place on the map and you haven't used the editor before, just press M off for mic on your keyboard, scroll out, and we're going to go to the airfield, right click, go here, and M for map as well will take you to the airfield. Now, to create a very basic template to use for your mission, first thing obviously you need to do is to place down a unit. So let's just place down any infantry guy. That's going to be the main player. Go up to systems, go to multiplayer, select respawn position, place that down, double click on it. We're going to make that for the blue force side, and in the variable type we're going to type in respawn underscore west and click OK. So there's your respawn. Also in systems, down the bottom we've got Zeus. Go to game master, place that down, double click. In the owner, type hash admin logged. Select all add-ons, including unofficial ones, and press OK. So that's your basic mission template. You can now go and save that scenario so they can use this in the future. Okay, I'm going to go through some of the basic functions of Zeus with the Achilles mod also installed. Right, now that we've got those down and we've got the Zeus, we click on play scenario in single player, and that will then load the scenario. Okay, once we've loaded in, to activate Zeus, we press Y for Yankee on the keyboard. And that will then place us into the Zeus module, and then we can see our player that's been placed down. AI patrols. We've got a Blue 4 AI unit down, and we want these guys to patrol in a particular area, in a particular radius. We go up to modules in Zeus, to AI behavior, and select patrol/loiter, and click that onto the blue circle for the leader of the unit. They'll bring up a new dialogue for patrol/loiter. The radius is the radius of the patrol. We'll select 200 meters, relaxed, counterclockwise, and we won't set a delay point, but if you did, 15, 30 seconds or 1 minute, they will stop at each waypoint for that period that you've specified in the delay. We click on OK, and now these guys will go off and they will patrol in a 200 meter radius from where they've been placed. We can also get vehicles or aircraft to patrol a sector as well. Again, I've placed down a chopper there. It has the crew on board, and you need to ensure include crew is checked if you want that to happen. Again, we'll go to modules, AI behavior, patrol loiter, click on the blue circle. Let's say 400 meters and a cautious patrol, clockwise, click OK. That aircraft net will now spool up, take off, and patrol in that sector, in that radius. If you want to see the patrol waypoints, you can actually press M, and you can actually drag those waypoints around if you need to. And there's our chopper taking off to commence his patrol. He'll continue patrol around until you give him a direction to go somewhere else, or until you delete him out. The fire support module has a bunch of different functions in it, and I'll show you one using the advanced CAS. I've placed a helicopter down. What we need to do is place down a target marker for that helicopter to attack. So in modules, we go to fire support and create target. Let's click on the target area. You don't have to be specifically on them. We can name the target there, and we can also attach a laser marker for that target, but on this occasion we won't. And let's click OK. So we've got our target created. And now let's go back to our aircraft. We can either get him to take off from the ground when we give him the task, or we can click left alt on the keyboard, left click with the mouse and drag him into the air, and you can see he's now flying. we want him to attack the target marker we just put down. So in Modules Fire Support, we go to Advanced CAS and click on the blue circle on that aircraft. We can select the target, and let's select Target Alpha, and you can select the ammo type there. He's got Hydras loaded. Click on OK. This guy will now fly off and go and attack the target marker, which happens to be in the vicinity of the AI Op4 troops that I've just placed down. So in comes the chopper to hit the target. You can press backspace if you want a more cinematic sort of view, and that will get rid of all the Zeus stuff, and that chopper will now attack that ground target. Simple. We can also use the same target marker, or add a new one if we like, for an artillery team or a mortar team. So we'll scroll away a little bit from the target. We go to Compositions or Groups, Empty, Verne SO Military Structures, and let's select a mortar position, Hasty, which means quick. So they've quickly and hastily built a mortar position. We need mortar operators, so let's go and place some blue 4 infantry down. We'll place 3 down. To get them onto the guns, we simply drag them onto the mortar icon on each of the mortars. Let's do that very quickly. Now we want those guys to fire on our target up there. So quite simply, all we do is go back to Modules, in Fire Support, Artillery Fire Mission, and click on any one of these guys on the blue marker. So we've got a Mark 6 mortar. We can select the marker, or we can actually alternatively select a grid that you can put in, but we'll leave it at marker for this. Click OK. Number of units involved, there's 3 guns, so we're going to select 3. Number of rounds, we'll select 6. HE mortar shells, we can fire HE mortar, flare or smoke, we'll leave it at HE, and we'll select Target Alpha. Click OK. These guys are now firing on the target marked Alpha. Backspace, and those rounds will be crunching in fairly shortly to take out that target. Objectives. If we go to Modules, Objectives, there's several different objectives here that we can use, and these work in multiplayer missions whilst you have Zeus and Achilles going, so you can do things on the fly. Let's firstly just use a neutralize objective. So we're just going to click on neutralize, click on the red circle of this Op4 unit that I placed down. It's going to bring up another dialogue. You can select the side this objective is for. Now if you've got TVT, you can select blue 4 and Op4, but at this stage we're going to leave it as blue 4. The title of the target, kill the bad guy, and we can put in here a description. It currently says neutralize the target, and we'll just leave it at that. As soon as I click that, an objective will pop up on the screen that blue 4 needs to kill the bad guy. Okay, so what we would normally do is get our guys, human players, to patrol and look for this guy to take him out, but just for expediency and show you how the task completes, I'm just going to go to Fire Support and use an 82mm mortar, drop it in that location. That mortar will come in fairly shortly, take out this dude, and then you'll see the task complete, kill the bad guy. Adding intelligence into a mission to increase the level of immersion for your players. What we're going to do is go to Modules, Scenario Flow, Create /Edit Intel, and I'm just going to pop it here. Now you can select a object type for the intel to be attached to. I'm going to select, just so you can see it clearly, an open laptop. The action text will be collect or pick up the intel. I'm going to type in there collect intel. Duration of the action is 1 second. The intel title is we know where the bad guys are, and the intel text, the bad guys are near the airfield somewhere. Really? They are. And the side that the intel is shared with, you can select the side, group, or no one in particular. Click on OK. You'll see it will put a laptop on the ground there, which is our intel object. And just so that it's on the table, I'm going to left Alt on the keyboard, right click with correction, left click with the mouse, drag it up, move it over, again Alt, drag down. Now it's on the table. To show you how that works, I'm going to exit Zeus by pressing Y for Yankee. Now I'm going to go up, and we've got hold space to collect intel, which should take 1 second. There we go. And now we've got OCB fella found intel, we know where the bad guys are. Now it takes you to the map, AIR is intel, we know where the bad guys are, and the bad guys are near the airfield somewhere. Really, they are. So that's how the intel mod works. Okay, you want to have a sector control task built into the mission. Modules, objectives, control sector, place it down. Now if you've got human Op4 players, or even AI Op4 players, if you want to do that, you can select the sides that can fight over this area for control. Sides, I've selected Blue 4, I'm going to select Op4 as well, and I'm going to click on OK. Task will pop up that you need to seize Alpha, which is this area here. Now I'll place down some Blue 4 units, infantry, and I will get them to patrol into this sector, and there's the Alpha marker. Those guys are patrolling off, and once they get into the sector and close enough to the center marker, it will indicate that sector captured by Blue 4. Now the same sector that was captured by Blue 4 is now going to be captured by Op4. So I've got now an Op4 player patrolling into that zone, and once he's inside that zone, it will then show that it's been captured by Op4. Simple. Setting suicide bomber. In modules, under AI behavior, you can select set suicide bomber, which click on the red or the circle, which happens to be purple at this stage, uses civilian, and you can select the parameters there. Okay, so once this is the parameters are set, and you can have a look at the explosion size effect, whether you add a vest or not. You should always put yes. Activation distance and patrol radius. I'll set the patrol radius to 10, and the activation side is Blue 4. So when a Blue 4 player gets within 10 meters of this guy, a small but deadly explosion will occur, which will take out the Blue 4 player. Now this guy will patrol in a 10 meter arc. What I'll do is place down a Blue 4 unit to show you how this works, and I'll get him to patrol to where this guy is, and you'll see that once he's within 10 meters there will be an explosion, and that's how that module works. The capture module. Place down a civilian, there's my player there. Modules, AI behavior, and surrender unit. Click on this guy. Ambient animation, surrender unit is when they stand with their hands on their heads, or you can select tie unit, and interaction is release and lead. I'm going to click OK. You'll now see that this guy is down on the ground with his hands tied behind his back. I'll close Zeus so I can use my player. Approach the dude. Hold space to release unit. So I'm now capturing him. And now he's part of my group. And I can direct him to move around, do whatever. So you can use that for capturing an enemy or rescuing a downed pilot or an officer that's been captured, etc. Which is a pretty good task if you put down an enemy zone with lots of bad guys and the captive in a secure area, so you can get your guys to patrol in, take out the bad guys and capture the prisoner. Very briefly, other features within Zeus. If you have a look through the menu, for example, you've got buildings. You can select lock doors, click on that, and then within a range which you can set, or the nearest building, you can set all the doors to locked and either breachable, unbreachable, or open. Select OK, and it says it's changed the status of the doors. In addition to that, you can go to environment, skip time, and you can use a time slider to change the time, which will take effect map wide, as you say that just the movement of the sun has changed. You can add weather effects as well if you want to. You can use objects, you can play around with that, you can create IEDs, etc. You can spawn an effect. So for example, let's go and we'll spawn, click that down, we'll spawn a light source, we'll make it red, click on OK, then we'll adjust the intensity of the light source and we'll click on OK. Now obviously it's daytime, so we can't see the light source. So in environment, we'll go to skip time and we'll make it dark, and there we can see our red light source, which we can move around, which is quite good if you put it in your ammo boxes or inside buildings or whatever to give a sort of decent effect. You can double click on it and change the intensity, and that'll make it really red, which you can see from a long distance, which might be nice if you're using it for the top of a building or something. And that's just one of the other cool things that you can do. I'll go to set time back into daylight now, which is just as easy to do. Creating a respawn for your troops is quite easy, and this works in multiplayer missions as well. If you want to create an additional respawn because your troops are too far from the objective, they keep getting killed and having to go all the way back to base, we can just go to, in modules, respawn, players, blue 4, put that down, and that will create a new infantry respawn at grid near airfield. Changing the side of a player is something that you'd do in missions, just to make things a little bit interesting, because there are scenarios that you could create or come up with that would use such a task. To do that, I've got these two Op4 guys down. I've gone into modules, players, change side of player. I'm going to click on this guy and selected player only, change his side to blue 4, and this should be interesting. So far, nothing. Oh, there we go. They've worked out that his mates turned on him. Okay, we've got guys in the field asking for a resupply because they need to grab some more ammo, or they want to put on a funky hat. You can drop down any sort of object. This can be, I've put down an ammo box, but it can be a car, tank, aircraft, any object that you can place down that's not a player, you can use as an ammo point simply by placing it down, going to modules, arsenal, add full arsenal, and clicking on it. Now the full arsenal has been added to that object. You can get AI reinforcements into the field if you want to do that in your missions by going to modules, reinforcements. Firstly, you need to create a new LZ, we'll call it Bravo, create a new RP or rally point, we'll drop that over there, RP Bravo, and we'll go to spawn units. We'll select Blue 4 US Army. They'll be delivered by APCs in an M113A3. The action for the vehicle will be to RTB and despawn. You can select the faction, the company type. Unit RP will go to RP Bravo, which is the one we just placed down. Unit behavior, we'll select relaxed, and we'll click on OK. And it's a little bit dodgy in that the vehicle just spawns instantly. It doesn't come from anywhere, so it sort of cuts down on the immersion just a little. It'll stop at the LZ. The doors will open. That infantry unit will debus. They will then, in a relaxed fashion, because that's what we've instructed, they will now head over to the RP that we've placed down. And that vehicle, which is again a bit dodgy, will just go and despawn. So it's not the greatest module, but I'm hoping the developer's going to work on that to make it a little more immersive. Not that we use a lot of AI in our missions anyway, but it's just an extra feature you can use if you wish. The remote control feature under modules, if you go down to Zeus, click on remote control, any player that you have placed down in Zeus, you can click on them with this and you will become that player. The only thing you can't do is, if you're in a squad, is you can't actually command these guys or tell them what to do or where to go. They will follow you around, but you can't actually give them orders when you're in remote control mode. You'll notice that the guy I captured earlier is actually still in my group, and I can command him to move around. To get back out of that player, you just press Y for Yankee again, and it'll take you out of that dude and back into the Zeus screen. You're running a mission and you're the commander of the mission. You're not directly involved because you're controlling things from a distance, but you want to get to somewhere quickly. Modules, Zeus, modules, players, teleport. Now I want him, which is my player, to go from there. I want him to go to Vibor to check out this crossroads. So I'm going to click there. Mode. I'm going to select players. I'm the player. Click OK. And like magic, I've now teleported and I'm at the crossroads. You can actually teleport any player, any human player in the mission, just by selecting their name. And you can also select whether they go with their vehicle that they're in or not. It's up to you. Well, thanks for watching, guys. This has been a brief explanation of some of the functions of Zeus with the Achilles mod also included. There is a fair bit more in it that you can do, and obviously you need to come up with a bit of a mission plan if you're going to run a mission just based purely on Zeus. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. Thanks.